poor man asks the rich man, "What are you getting your wife this Christmas?" The rich man replies, "Diamond earrings and a Mercedes." The poor man asks, "Why are you getting her two gifts?" The rich man says, "Well, if she doesn't like the earrings, then she can drive to the store and exchange them." The poor man nods. Then the rich man asks him, "So, what are you getting your wife this year?" The poor man thinks about it for a second and replies, "A pair of slippers and a..." The rich man asks, "Why those two things?" The poor man astutely responds, "This way, if she doesn't like the slippers, she can go herself." He asks his driver on his way to the airport if he could drive around for a while, because they have time to kill and he hasn't driven a car since becoming the Pope. Naturally, he's a bit rusty, so he's driving poorly when suddenly he sees police lights behind him. He pulls over, and when the officer comes up to the window, his eyes go wide. He says to the Pope, "Hold on for a minute," and goes back to his car to radio the chief. Cop: "Chief, we have a situation. I've pulled over an important figure." Chief: "How important? A governor or something?" Cop: "No, sir. He's bigger." Chief: "So what, a celebrity or something?" Cop: "More important, sir." Chief: "A major politician?" Cop: "No, sir, he's much more important." Chief: "Well, who is it?" Cop: "Well, actually, I'm not sure, but the Pope's his driver." Three couples are trying to get married at the same church. There is a young couple, a middle-aged couple, and an elderly couple. The three couples meet with the priest and discuss when they can get married. "If you wish to get married in my church, you must all go 1 month without having sex," says the priest. 1 month later, the three couples return to the church and talk to the priest. He then asks the elderly couple, "Have you completed the month with best time?" "Yes, we have. It was easy," replies the elderly couple. "How about you?" he asked the middle-aged couple. "It was hard, but we didn't have sex for the whole month," they respond. "And how about you two?" he asks the young couple. "No, we couldn't do it," responds the boyfriend. "Tell me why," says the priest. "Well, my girlfriend had a can of corn in her hand and she accidentally dropped it. She bent over to pick it up and that's when it happened." The priest then tells them, "You're not welcome in my church." "We're not welcome in the supermarket either," says the boyfriend. 3. The first gave birth to a boy. The chief was so elated that he built her a teepee made of deer hide. A few days later, the second gave birth also to a boy. The chief was very happy. He built her a teepee made of antelope hide. The third wife gave birth a few days later, but the chief kept the details a secret. He built this one a 2-story teepee, made out of a hippopotamus hide. The chief then challenged the tribe to guess what had occurred. Many tried, unsuccessfully. Finally, one young brave declared that the third wife had given birth to twin boys. "Correct," said the chief. "How did you figure it out?" The warrior answered, "It's elementary. The value of the squaw of the hippopotamus is equal to the sons of the squaws of the other 2 hides." The world's leading expert on European wasps walks into a record shop. He asks the assistant, "Do you have European Vespidae, Acoustics Volume 2? I believe it was released this week." "Certainly," replies the assistant. "Would you like to listen before you buy it?" "That would be wonderful," says the expert, and puts on a pair of headphones. He listens for a few moments and says to the assistant, "I'm terribly sorry, but I am the world's leading expert on European wasps, and this is not accurate at all. I don't recognize any of those sounds. Are you sure this is the correct recording?" The assistant checks the turntable and replies that it is indeed European Vespidae Acoustics Volume 2. The assistant apologizes and lifts the needle onto the next track. Again, the expert listens for a few moments and then says to the assistant, "No, this just can't be right. I've been an expert in this field for 43 years and I still don't recognize any of these sounds." The assistant apologizes again and lifts the needle to the next track. The expert throws off the headphones as soon as it starts playing and is fuming with rage. "This is outrageous false advertising. I am the world's leading expert on European wasps, and no European wasp has ever made a sound like the ones on this record." The manager of the shop overhears the commotion and walks over. "What seems to be the problem, sir?" "This is an outrage. I am the world's leading expert on European wasps. Nobody knows more about them than I do. There is no way in hell that the sounds on that record were made by European wasps." The manager glances down and notices the problem instantly. "I am terribly sorry, sir. It appears we've been playing you the B-side." 5. One Saturday afternoon, the grasshopper, the snail, and the centipede were sitting around the grasshopper's house drinking beer. They ran out of beer before they were ready to quit drinking, so they decided one of them should go out for more beer. The snail said, "I'd go, but I'm kind of slow. Besides, Grasshopper, this is your neighborhood, so you know where to go." The grasshopper said, "I don't mind going, but my hopping will shake up the beer and we'll get sprayed every time we open one." So they decided to send the centipede, and the grasshopper explained how to get to the nearest liquor store. An hour or so passed, and still the centipede hadn't returned. So the snail and the grasshopper decided to go look for him. They got as far as the front door and found the centipede sitting there putting on his shoes. 6, and a doctor asked a lawyer at a big party, "These people seize advantage of me being outside my office and consult me here instead of taking appointment at the hospital. It would be rude to tell them to visit my office. What should I do?" The lawyer replied, "Ask the host for a copy of the guest list, and once you have the names, send first consultancy bills to their addresses." The doctor said, "Yeah, that's a good idea. I would do that if the situation gets out of hand." It did. The next day, the doctor prepared bills for each of the guests who asked for his medical advice. He initially hesitated, but after a few days he decided to go through with it. He was about to leave when he received a bill from the postman. It was from the lawyer. 7. A couple went to a Chinese restaurant. The husband played it safe by ordering simple noodles. His wife decided to try something new and she ordered chicken surprise. After a short time, the meals were served. The wife's meal came in a pot with a lid. Before she could open it, the lid lifted and 2 eyes peered out. Then the lid went back down. "Did you see that?" The husband hadn't seen it happen, so he watched. After a moment, the same thing happened again. Both of them were shocked, so they called the waiter. The waiter asked the wife what she had ordered, and she said, "I ordered the chicken surprise." The waiter replied, "I'm so sorry, I made a mistake. I brought you the peak." 8. They're 3 roommates who live on the 100th floor of a building. One day, the lift was broken, so they had to take the stairs. After cursing the building manager about the lack of a notice, they decided to tell each other short stories to pass bar time. When they were near the top floor, the first friend remarked that he will them a story with the most horrifying ending possible. I forgot the room keys in the car. Obviously, they had no choice but to go all the way down. Just when they were about to rear the car, the second friend remarked, "I have an even more horrifying story. I have the keys in my pocket." So, well, they again started climbing. Very near the top, the third friend remarked this time, I can beat you both. I have the most horrifying story possible. We are in the wrong building. Ours is the adjacent one." 9. Once I saw this guy on a bridge about to jump. I said, "I know, don't do it." He said, nobody loves me. I said, God loves you. Do you believe in God? He said, yes. I said, are you a Christian or a Jew? He said, a Christian. I said, me too. Protestant or Catholic? He said, Protestant. I said, me too. What franchise? He said, Baptist. I said, me too. Northern Baptist or Southern Baptist? He said, Northern Baptist. I said, me too. Northern Conservative Baptist or Northern Liberal Baptist? He said, Northern Conservative Baptist. I said, me too. Northern Conservative Baptist Great Lakes Region or Northern Conservative Baptist Eastern Region? He said, Northern Conservative Baptist Great Lakes Region. I said, me too. Northern Conservative Baptist Great Lakes Region Council of 1879 or Northern Conservative Baptist Great Lakes Region Council of 1912. He said, Northern Conservative Baptist Great Lakes Region Council of 1912. I said, die, heretic, and I pushed him over.